The highlight of the night saw Bobby Lashley call out Brock Lesnar after his vicious attack that caused Bobby Lashley to lose the United States Championship to Seth Pheasant Rollins, and Lashley was pissed, so he said, Brock Lesnar, come out here, and my God, he came out there, and these two titans went at it, boom, 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 barricade broken, security, wrestlers, all out there. Shelton Benjamin still works there. Akira Tozawa in his ninja outfit, he still works there. I know. I'm shocked by both of those, though I'm happy they're getting paychecks. But this was such a highlight. Lashley decides to throw the Beast Borklahoma on the announcer's table. It doesn't break for I am the table. But then he puts him through the announcer's table, and it's chaos and bedlam, and we'll see you next Monday. And what do you mean this is the opening segment? Well, God damn it, we should have programmed this better. Shit, what else do we have on this show? Oh, God, we did not think this through. Oh, God, this is going to be death. I'm John Renton with my review WWE Raw from Oklahoma City. An old stomping ground for Leroy McGurk and Bill Watts when he took over the McGurk territory. A big hotbed of professional wrestling, and they got this show. Look, there were some things that were okay, but it really felt like a run-of-the-mill show. I do want to say I hope Triple H recovers. He tested positive for COVID-19. Hopefully he's going to be all right, especially with his health scare and the fact that he has a pacemaker and the heart issues that he had. Just hopefully he's going to be all right. Unfortunately, that means that Road Dogg was in charge of the show. So anything bad on the show, I blame on Road Dogg. I want to say right now that if November 1st, 2012 had Road Dogg in the place of Brad Armstrong, the world, especially the wrestling world, will be better off. If only Bullet Bob Armstrong had pulled out that night. Goddamn Road Dogg, Brian Armstrong, you piece of shit. Nevertheless, yeah, it did start with Lashley, mid-promo, just calling out Bork. He's like, I'm upset at you, Borklahoma, and calls him out. And Brock, he wants to be a cowboy, and he decides to take the hat off and brawl with Lashley. And they just go nuts. This is great. It's bedlam and everything. It kind of makes sense that they did start with this because they want to try to keep as many people as possible because of Monday Night Football. But they battle and we get the barricade spot. And Brock selling, this is great. Security's out there. All these people are out there. It's all great. And then Lashley runs around and slams him on the announcer's table and slams him through the announcer's table. It's great stuff. Lashley looking like a beast against the beast. This will be interesting to see how they pull off this match in Saudi Arabia. They really are going full bore with these Saudi Arabian shows. Look, let me say, the fans there do deserve to have a good time. Fuck the goddamn government, but the fans there deserve to have a good time. So, that was the opening segment, though. And unfortunately, it was all downhill from here. Speaking of downhill, the Good Brothers, home of the Good Brothers, may we take your order? I know they're called the OC. A terrible show and a terrible name for a terrible stable. Styles is out there with the Good Brothers, home of the Good Brothers, may we take your order. Which are Carl Anderson, that's still the never openweight six-man champion, by the way. And Gallows. And they took on Alpha Academy. The Shoosh Academy. Sheesh. Remember when Chad Gable could have been something good and they decided to just totally butcher him? Now he's nothing. It's him and Otis against the Good Brothers. Home of the Good Brothers, may we take your order. I can't help but say that because Carl Anderson, gee, I wonder if WWE sucks now, because he picked the time to say that right after Daphne had passed away, and they sent out an edict, hey, you need help or you need to contact people, we are here, we will put you in contact with the proper people. Or, they're never ever going back there, ever. Yeah, I wonder how many zeros are added to that goddamn paycheck. For a 42-year-old guy that hasn't been any good since being in the G1 Climax 2012 final, and Gallows, who was in a match so bad, I believe Gallows was in the match that was so bad that Antonio Inoki came out and said, no, boom, get the hell out. This was a match, I didn't care. I don't care about the Good Brothers. I don't care about Alpha Academy. Gable could have laid down Jeff Jarrett style at Bash at the Beach 2000, and it would have saved us 10 minutes, because we all know Gable's taking the pin. The tag team division's a freaking mess. It's just a mess. Otis threw himself at the steps. Of course, when you're a thumb soldier from Spy Kids, that makes sense. And Magic Killer on Gable, 1, 2, 3. Hey, here's Judgment Day. Because that's what this show needs more of is Judgment Day. I know there are some people that like Judgment Day. That's fine. I know there are some people that like what Dominic's doing. That's fine. I don't. Balor also said, about the Too Sweet, all that old stuff. I started this stupid club. To be fair, the Bullet Club is stupid. It has been stupid for a number of years. It wasn't when it was initially formed, but they were also just trying to be a carbon copy of the NWO, which, look, I mean, without the Four Horsemen, hell, without the Freebirds, there would have been no stables like this, and the Bullet Club now, it's splintered into so many factions that none of them matter. They barely are as good as NWO 2002, which was the worst rendition of the NWO. Actually, they're not even as good as the band from TNA 2010. If you remember that, I'm sorry. That was not a very good time. So yeah, we're going to have a match at Crown Jewel, 6-man style. Okay, here's a question though. What day is Crown Jewel? I can answer that. It's on November 5th. You want to know what else is on November 5th? The last of the Battle Autumn Tour for New Japan, where Carl Anderson, who is a current never openweight champion, is supposed to defend the championship against Hikuleo. So I'm guessing that what happens is they'll have Anderson go and battle Hikuleo, and then they'll say, oh, Judgment Day took him out on the way there. Because unless they just want to strip him of the championship, which honestly the never openweight title really hasn't meant all that much. I thank Carl Anderson for that. This is a mess. Maybe don't put your championships on talents that aren't actually contracted, even if they look like they contracted several diseases, which explains why they have brain parasites in their head. But nevertheless, look, Jesus. AJ challenges Dominic because apparently AJ just, he doesn't care anymore. I know that they're doing this because they're trying to milk this thing with Ray and Dominic. That might interest some people, but this is just bad because Ray cannot get any blood out of this turnip because Dominic looks and sounds like he sustained several major head injuries. He wrestles like it too. He's like, I'm a man, come at me. Bitch, you ain't even as much of a man as David Flair was in 1999. This was abysmal. I just don't care about this feud. Rollins apparently is a 70s drug dealer. And whoa. And he tapped in the fight pit at Extreme Rules because he wanted to save himself for the fans. I'm saving myself for you. No, actually it was so he could beat Lashley for the U.S. title, which Brock beat him at. Here's the thing, though. He saved himself to beat Lashley, and then Brock beat up... whatever. Okay. He's doing his usual heel promo. Ali comes out and says, Lashley said he was going to give me a shot. Why don't you give me a shot? I'm going to be your problem. He takes off the sunglasses. Ooh. I love Ali. I really do. Ali is very talented. They have vastly undercut Ali multiple times. I hope that they do something with him. At this point, I don't have any faith. I don't care if it's a regime change. I don't even think the U.S. title is going to matter. I don't think that it's going to matter that Ali gets the U.S. title. If he does. Say he does and he goes on an 8-month run. Is it going to fix the last 4 or 5 years of bad booking? On again, off again stuff? Like with the group that used to call themselves Retribution? Yes, there are ways to fix people, but they really need an influx of talent, and I fear they're just not going to utilize Ali properly. And if they do, are enough fans going to care? I hope they do. Anyway, he takes Seth Rollins' sunglasses off so he can't wear his sunglasses at night. Then they have a brawl. Briefly. Kinda, maybe, sorta. But Ali's going to continue to be his problem. Speaking of problems, the Damage Control theme is ass. Absolute ass. Whoever sung it deserves to have their vocal cords ripped out. So, Candice LeRae and Bianca Belair took on Dakota and Io. Bayley on commentary. Okay, there are key components and there are good talents in here. There's also Candice LeRae that is talented but bland. Very, very bland. Io is great. I wish that Io was in a singles program with Bianca, but nevertheless. Her and Dakota and Bayley, they play it off well. They play well off of each other, or however that phrasing goes. I don't know if this match just felt off to me, but just something wasn't clicking. There were good moves. There was some stuff that sort of clicked, but something felt off about this show. Bayley tries to stick Bianca at one point, and then Candice ends up getting a double team and ends up getting topped by Dakota 1, 2, 3. So there you go. Kathy Kelly, my goodness, it's so great to see her back. And her friend ain't bad either. Hey-o. So, she's talking to Riddle, for what that's worth. And then Ali is talked to by Riddle. Hey, if I win, I'll give you a shot. And then Miz suddenly is around the wet floor sign, around the puddle, and he's like, ow, ow, ah. As he slipped on the wet floor, he's got a knee injury. She's faking it. So anyway, oh boy, more Judgment Day, just what my apathy needs. Cora talks to Rhea. Hey, can you come here and beat up Roxanne? Come to NXT and beat up Roxanne? Sure. Pretty much the crux of that conversation right there. JBL tries to goose step to the ring, but his old pathetic ass can't even really do anything. Can barely walk without tripping. Trip Bradshaw. He makes his way to the ring. He knocks Oklahoma City. To be fair, I have heard that Texas is a better state, though I don't know. I think they're both run by idiots, so I don't really... But there's good citizens in both states. But that whole college football Red River right-hand rivalry or whatever it is. Corbin comes out, and I don't know how much thought he put into his gear, but more would have helped. And I don't know if the boos were dubbed in or what. I mean, whatever. Here's Ziggler. No Hulk, Ziggler. You know what? Fuck it. I don't care about the bit. Corbin took on Ziggler with JBL joining commentary and constantly calling Kevin Steve Patrick Shamrock. Apparently, I see that JBL has never bothered to understand that, well, when you're on a worldwide broadcast, maybe, I don't know, let your racism and bigotry shine through, but nevertheless. So, or xenophobia, however the wording goes, who thought this was a good idea? I just want to talk. I'm going to blame Road Dogg. God, I wish he wasn't saved a couple years ago when he had that health scare. So, it's funny that JBL was picking on Kevin Steve Patrick when he's about the same size as Joey Styles. And what did Joey Styles do? Oh, yeah, he knocked out JBL. I don't care if he was drunk. It was funny. So, I think Road Dogg or whoever kept pacing this show was trying to actively kill off any momentum, because from that opening segment, it just went down. And anytime it's peaked up, we would get matches like this. This went on forever. And today is 1, 2, 3. And then Miz was checked on. And then Gargano says, hey, it's Loomis. And he jumps up and his knee's fine. Oh my God, he's fine. Oh, what a shock. Not Edward James Olmos being shot while the cameraman was basically right at his dick level to make him look taller. And this feud with Braun, oh boy. Jeez, if these matches go beyond like 30 seconds after the ring bell, it's going to be bad. So, recaps of Bray's return. Some people have said it's going to be like the movie Split. He's going to have to fight all his personalities. That works in the movies. Ain't going to work in live wrestling. There have been examples that have worked, but you use camera tricks like Three Faces of Foley, that kind. Whatever. There are people that are going to like it, and that's fine. Grimes wants the Good Brothers, home of the Good Brothers, may we take your order, to come to NXT, and he will pay him a large sum of money to beat the Schism and go to the moon. Speaking of going to the moon, I want to send whoever booked this match to the goddamn moon without oxygen, so they just pass horribly. Maybe it could be like Apollo 18. Styles with the Good Brothers, home of the Good Brothers, I can't help but say that, versus Dominic with Judgment Day. How good of a magician is AJ? He is not that good. And AJ is one of the best of his generation. What ancient totem, what tomb, what artifact did I desecrate to have to deserve to deal with Dominic? One of the worst second-generation wrestlers. God damn it. I wish WCW won the Monday Night Wars. David Flair wasn't featured this much on WCW programming. Eric Watts wasn't featured this much. Jesus Christ. God damn it. I know that there are some people that like, I'm sorry, this is terrible. Rhea got involved. I'm going to say it again. Get a woman involved, or let the men hit the women, or something. Otherwise, you're just being stupid. I'm not a big fan of intergender wrestling, in all honesty, but if you're going to go to this point, you let them smack each other around. Rhea's big enough to take the shots from AJ. Just saying, you make it a size similarity. That's why stuff with China and the men worked, because she had the similar build and the height and everything. So, We get a roll-up, 1, 2, 3. And I know that there were shenanigans, there was bullshit and everything, but Dominic still beat him, 1, 2, 3. And I thought the Claire Lynch angle was damaging to AJ. Styles is toast. I mean, at this point, his legacy's set in stone. But losing to Dominic. Put Road Dogg with the Saudi government and let them hack him up like Khashoggi. Make his family watch. That's what you should do. Anyway, so Gargano says to Miz, hey, by the way, don't say I didn't warn you. About what? Oh, about Loomis. Recaps of Bork and Lashley. Miz lays out Loomis with a chair. Beats him up, and everything. Hits the skull-crushing finale on a chair. That's how you take Loomis down. Damage Control's backstage, and Bayley says to Byron, I am so sick of people like you. Okay, Hulk from 1996. Okay. I mean, I kid. She's just doing her normal shtick. And then Miz talks to Gargano. Gargano says, if you don't tell the truth, what's the worst? You're going to get canceled. You're going to get this. You promised him something. Is this like Shane McMahon's lockbox? What the hell is this? Why are we giving Gargano promo time when he can't talk for shit? I don't. He's going to blow the whistle on him. Fucking swallow that whistle. Anyway, Elias has returned. The whole Ezekiel thing was terrible. He can't get his concert started because he's got a keyboard. And then Riddle interrupts with bongos and says, oh, I'm such a huge fan, leads the whole cheer, oh, walk with Elias. You want to hit my bong, and I'm ashamed to admit that made me laugh. I am ashamed. I'm also not, because stupid humor is stupid, but I hate that I laughed at something Riddle said. And Elias doesn't get a chance really to sing anything, because after playing the keyboard a bit, whoa, Riddle and Seth Pheasant Rollins show up for their U.S. title match. Well, actually, they were already there. Elias is there to be involved in the finish. Another messy finish. Shocking. If I'm going to pick on AEW and New Japan for doing messy finishes, WWE's got to get away from doing this stuff. If you can't do something clean, don't book the match. This was a match that was well wrestled. I just saw this at Extreme Rules, and I saw this at Clash at the Castle. Sorry. It was what it was. Rollins said, hit me! But Elias wouldn't. And then Elias ended up getting super kicked. Then he tried to run in, I think, to stop Rollins, but then he bumped Riddle on accident. Stomp, 1, 2, 3. And then a stomp to Elias. And then here's Ali. See, if he had just listened to Ariana Grande and not done this with Ali, he'd have one less problem without him. Bet you didn't think you were going to get an Ariana Grande reference in this review, did you? Or any of my reviews. Nevertheless, yeah. Looks like they're going with Ali and Rollins. If this leads to Ali winning in Saudi Arabia, great. Ali will also take his payoff and donate it to something, credible. Like, I don't know, stuff for women's rights, because we all know how the Saudi government feels about that. Not the citizens, but the people, but the government themselves. Nevertheless, that was certainly an episode of Raw. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. Fuck you, Road Dogg. I wish you'd been in Brad's place instead of him. See you soon.